This is how you bring Swiss manufacture in the microbrand scene. The Zelos Spearfish. This video is brought to you by Zelos Watches. The Spearfish is Zelos' attempt at streamlining and upgrading its top-selling swordfish collection. The diameter is 40mm with a lug distance of 47mm. This is combined with a 20mm lug width, making this a versatile and compact watch by dimensions. The thickness registers at 11.5mm, including that flat crystal. The screw-down crown provides a 200-meter water resistance, so it doesn't just look good, it can be taken virtually anywhere. The materials used are also the usual high-grade elements, such as stainless steel, sapphire crystal, and ceramic insert. What sets the Spearfish apart from the swordfish line is the use of the Lejeune G100 caliber. This has a similar architecture to ETA's 2824, but with an improved power reserve of 68 hours while doing it with one less jewel. Even the 316L steel gets an upgrade with a hardening process that delivers a 1200 Vickers of scratch resistance. Prices will start at $649 with 6 different variants to choose from. We'll begin with a statement right away. This is Zelos' most impressive launch to date. Not only is it packed with features, but this watch will convince you that refined watchmaking can be bought in the microbrand market. The dimensions of this watch is small, wrist-friendly. This is a 40mm watch on paper but wears more like 38mm on my wrist. It has the curves and angles that hug cuffs comfortably, much like the swordfish. It's a simple 3-handed watch with a date function. Unscrew the crown to the neutral position to wind the movement. 2 stops ahead and you can set the time. The first stop is for setting the date, the basics all watch fans are used to. The benefits from a Lejeune movement is that it's a lot less grittier than usual. This particular model has a 60-click 12-hour bidirectional bezel, perfect for a second timing feature, but lacks the solid ratcheting tension of a diving bezel. The quick release end links are present here as well, giving its owner many strap options with ease. Also included is the micro adjust feature that's become a standard at this point. I love this feature, however, for such a slimmed down watch, I wouldn't mind having a slimmer butterfly clasp. Let's be honest here, I could have used the same voiceover in my past videos about a Zelos watch, import it here, and I bet you wouldn't even notice. But from here onward, we're just going to indulge in the Spearfish Refinements. All of the facets around this case is stunning to look at. The mid-case chamfer is polished beautifully and has a deep luster that you don't experience normally on a 316L steel. That hardening process certainly adds to this feel. The female end link starts the band deeper into the wrist. This adds flexibility to an already articulate bracelet. Another addition is the sapphire caseback that flaunts the gunmetal toned caliber. This G100 movement from Lejeune is gorgeously decorated and elevates the overall presence. Much of this presence is delivered from one of the most incredible dials this side of Moser and G. The black polished indexes and brand just pops over this lush copper dial. The texture maintains the sunburst effect while the smaller grooves creates a unique sparkle up close. The red text over the date window may not suit everyone's fancy, but to me it's a welcome dab of color. It's an amazing watch with fine watchmaking features worthy of Swiss standards without a Swiss price tag. But in true Zelos fashion, this Spearfish can be paired with many strap and band options. Simply release the steel bracelet and attach your favorite strap within seconds. The Spearfish is still somewhat of a tool watch, so the channel favorite Artem sailcloth strap would be a good option to work with. This leap spring strap gives the texture to contend with that detailed dial, along with the white stitching to accent this light catching case. This strap typically sees some play with my Zelos black tip, and here it feels just as comfortable on the Spearfish. Next, we'll use an all-black strap and stitching with a much cleaner design. This Omega-style strap from Artem has no ring keepers and is equally streamlined as the case tapers and sides of this timepiece. The personality of the whole watch also changes, making it more reserved and understated. For a more rugged look, a NATO or fabric strap option is a cheap and easy solution. Fabric is a good material to bring more color to the setup. This will require some bold attire choices to match it with, and when in doubt, a more earthy or neutral color is easier to pair with most situations. The thing about these NATO options is that the hardware will likely not match that brilliant case finish of the Spearfish, so you might go back to the original bracelet sooner than later. But you don't have to worry too much about scratching that metal band. While ordinary steel links will attract scratches like customers to a Rolex AD with sports models on the display case, this metal bracelet that's hardened to 1200 Vickers will repel scratches like a 5-year waitlist. This kind of materials finish is rarely seen at the sub $1,000 threshold. After testing this myself, I'm very much convinced that this watch will outlive me. A sad truth I'm happy to accept. The only thing preventing this from being the perfect release for me is an equally slimmer and sleeker clasp. But this is as far from a deal breaker as it can be. Because beside these two other Zelos favorites, you have here the perfect 3 Zelos combo for that especially long bar crawl. Beside the black tip, you can distinguish two different ways of compressing proportions. The black tip adapts the curvier case, while the Spearfish creates this impression with the narrower lines and bezel compared to the Swordfish collection. The black tip also looks bigger than the Spearfish, but both wear similarly. Against the Mako, the profile is different, with the Mako looking more robust and bulky. Notice too how both of these use the same hardening process, and it's clear that the Spearfish finish has a lot more luster than that of the titanium Mako. Having the Spearfish beside these two shows how much of a leap in refinement this collection is. It has better bezel proportions, brighter steel, even crisper indexes. It's also a great exercise in restraint. We're seeing a transition right before our eyes. Zelos, previously only known for impactful case angles and shot-at-your-face dials, is now upscaling its collections with quality builds that frankly doesn't belong on a microbrand anymore. The Zelos DNA is still there. Great lume that remains unbeatable, a fabulous dial that always seems to be the it thing every launch, but whatever it did on its Halo projects is now being used here in the affordable category. It's almost unfair to put this beside other microbrand products, but beside its older self, it's simply better. Zelos does it again. It's amazing to see how such a young watch brand can consistently produce great premium watches, especially at this price point. We're expecting this is just the beginning, and there's more to come from this great microbrand. Or maybe I shouldn't call them microbrand anymore. They're just really a good, solid brand. They shouldn't be categorized as a microbrand anymore. What do you think? Comment down below.